I got 10 platinum trophies in 10 days, which can seem easy depending on the type of games you play, but I played a variety of them, ranging from platformers to puzzles, and even a first-person shooter. It was the 15th of November, the first day of the 10 Platinum Trophy Challenge, and I decided to start with Astro's Playroom. I'm going to assume everyone who has a PS5 or does trophy hunting has heard of this game, as it is pre-installed with the system. A short platformer game that shows the history of the PlayStation since it was released back in 1994, an enjoyable experience from witnessing the variety of Easter eggs and especially the showcase of the haptic feedback with the PS5 controller. The trophy list is relatively straightforward, with us having to beat the 4 main worlds with several levels inside. We'd have to collect the artifacts and puzzle pieces within each respective area, and a lot of miscellaneous trophies, like diving into the water from the diving board, or punching the PlayStation logo of the PS2. Of course, there are plenty of Easter eggs along the way like these. After clearing through most of the game and getting the rest of the collectibles and the gacha machine, I noticed before concluding the platinum that there were add-on trophies, so it only made sense to go for the 100%. All I had to do was clear the game and get the new generation artifacts. Speedrun a set of levels in 7 minutes, and the second to last trophy by punching our fellow bots, who would follow us around, and by making the CPU chip under this glass punch 10 of them, we would get the trophy. And to conclude this platinum, I left the most appropriate trophy till last, and that was to hold a platinum trophy in-game, granting us the final trophy, then the platinum itself. Now this is the last trophy for the platinum, and it just makes sense. I'm gonna pick up the platinum, you got a trophy, picked up a trophy in PlayStation Labo, you've only done everything. Found all trophies in Astro's Playroom. See you in our next adventure. Day 2, I decided to play another 3D platformer, this time being Spyro the Dragon from the Reignited trilogy, an old classic collectathon remastered for modern consoles. Spyro the Dragon has a simple plotline where he must defeat Nasty Nork, who has turned everyone within the Dragon Kingdom into crystals, and their treasure into enemies. So Spyro must set out on a journey in the Dragon's Kingdom to recover everything. The game and its trophy list is relatively straightforward. Set levels with exploration, and your goal is to collect everything, wherever that be collecting gems around the world, defeating enemies for gems, or finding secret keys to open chests. There are a lot of miscellaneous trophies, like flaming 10 sheep in Stone Hill, using a cannon to dispatch a taunting Nork, performing a loop around an arch, and flaming 5 glowing mushrooms in this level that are all variously placed around the map. One of the strangest trophies was to do with fighting the final boss, Nasty Nork. The level is set up in a way where he runs throughout the level until you reach the final point to use your flame breath on him. But if you're not quick enough, he'll run another lap around the area again, and by doing this 5 times, you'll get the trophy. After successfully collecting everything the game has to offer, it would unlock the final level called Nasty's Loot. This area is filled with a ton of gems for you to collect, and it was the last trophy I needed before the platinum. And there's the platinum for Spyro. 2 platinums in 2 days, and we still have another 8 days and 8 platinums to go. Day 3, I went straight into Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage, a direct sequel, and this time Spyro decides to go on holiday after defeating Nasty Nork, but finds himself teleported to a realm by Elora, Hunter, and the Professor. These 3 had done this in search for a dragon to help deal with Ripto, who they had also teleported by accident, as his goal was to become the king of the realm. Spyro's goal is the same as before pretty much, defeat the boss and once again get a variety of collectibles. Spyro 2 also introduces 2 new additions like the mini cutscenes when you load and finish a level, as well as side quests. These side quests would grant you orbs. Some of them are easier than others, but they were quite the nice addition to bring more interaction to the world. Most of the trophy list is once again miscellaneous, like defeating every enemy in a certain level, charging a goat, and defeating the Ox without taking a hit, who fires bombs at you, and you must reflect it back numerous times. I will say though that this game is slightly more difficult than the first Spyro, and that is because of this annoying trophy, Conservationist 2. Complete Gulp's Overlook without harming fodder. This is the second boss fight in the game, and for some reason it is surprisingly difficult. You must beat this boss without using the chickens that spawn if you've taken damage, which allow you to heal yourself. However, the boss can also use these chickens to heal itself. So ideally, you want to beat this boss without taking damage at all. But it isn't as easy as that, as Gulp's attack track you very precisely. You must wait until the last second or two to dodge this attack, and he attacks more depending on how much health he has left. After several attempts equating roughly half an hour, hour, I would unlock the trophy. Before I conclude Spyro 2, look at what happened in this clip. Was that guy just T-posing? What? Anyway, I would get the last few trophies like using all 3 types of power-ups in the final fight against Ripto, collecting everything so we could visit Dragon Shores to unlock the permanent Super Flame, then flaming the pigeons first in this Metro Speedway level for the Platinum Trophy. Day 4, you're probably thinking it'll be Spyro 3, but no, I played a game called Unpacking, a game literally about unpacking things into your home. The story is told through, of course, unpacking, someone's life journey from living in 1997 to 2018. And it does show with items resembling game consoles like the GameCube, because doesn't this box art look like the Simpsons Hit and Run? You'd think you can just place anything anywhere in this game, but it is a puzzle game, meaning some items will only go in certain places. It can be a longer game depending on how you play it, as you can either place stuff in their corresponding areas and move on, or you can make it look nice and efficient. A straightforward trophy list, as you can play through the main game unlocking the story trophies, and pick up the remaining trophies in the chapter select after beating the game. You'll likely get a few of the miscellaneous trophies from playing, such as turning on the game console, putting the cookie jar out of reach, wrote an equation with fridge magnets, but there are some trophies that you wouldn't probably do by accident, like placing all the coffee making equipment on the counter, or placing an electronic item somewhere dangerous. A short platinum trophy that took me just under 4 hours, and it was also available on PlayStation Plus Extra if you want to give it a go yourself. Day 5, I played Pac-Man from the arcade game series, a game from 1980 that I am playing on a PlayStation 5 in 2023. Pac-Man has you eating pellets on a board while dodging the ghosts who try to attack you. A lot of the Pac-Man trophies just involve beating each corresponding round, and to do that you have to eat every pellet on the board. You unlock several trophies for clearing through the rounds, however you can also get more trophies on some of them, as after eating a set number of pellets will spawn the fruits, like the cherry, strawberry and orange. There are some harder trophies in this list, such as clearing 3 rounds in a row without eating a single ghost, and without losing a life. However, there is a feature in this game that allows you to save and quit, as well as upload that to the cloud, meaning you can easily reset to where you were. This can also be applied to these set of trophies, eating all 4 ghosts within a round, not once, not twice, but 4 successful times. I couldn't imagine trying this in one sitting, as I always find myself missing a ghost by a fraction of a second. Thankfully the cloud saves were there, because otherwise this platinum would be a lot harder than the guide says, and that would mean the platinum for Pac-Man would be number 5, as well as my fastest platinum trophy. Day 6, I went with another arcade game series, being Galaga. The gameplay loop is an arcade shoot 'em up where a bunch of enemies invade from the top of the screen, and we use our spaceship to shoot them down while dodging their incoming attacks. It has a surprisingly difficult trophy list. It follows the same routine as Pac-Man, which is to beat all the rounds and get other trophies at the same time, but instead of fruits, new enemies spawn, and by defeating them, we're granted several trophies. There are miscellaneous ones like forming a duel fighter, escaping the boss Gallagher's tractor beam, but the real difficulty lies within the challenging stages where you must perfect them, which is to destroy every single enemy. Once again, cloud saves are extremely useful, as you ideally want a duel fighter that can only be set up on the round before. The duel fighter allows you to fire 2 bullets instead of 1. This game is a lot more trial and error, and you may find yourself uploading and downloading your save file more than actually playing the game. There is one trophy that requires you to get a perfect without a duel fighter, but thankfully one of the levels is so much easier than the others. I mean, just look at this time gap between all these similar trophies. I did take a short break between some of them. It just goes to show that the challenging stages are indeed challenging, and that would conclude Galaga for platinum number 6. Day 7, I played nothing, so let's move on to day 8. Here I played The Last Campfire, a game developed by the same company who created No Man's Sky. The Last Campfire follows the story of a soul named Ember, and their goal is to solve environmental puzzles to rescue fellow souls who are lost. This game is told like a book while you play, with a narrator reading the text such as what Ember feels or what other characters are saying.
That Ember, hopeful, fisherman spoke softly. There's a frog in that pond.
Many of the trophies come from playing through the main story and by completing all the puzzles. So we'd get trophies like getting our fishing net repaired, meeting the greedy amphibian, rescuing all the souls in a certain area by solving the various types of puzzles. To no surprise, some are easy while some are harder. You have puzzles like placing statues on pressure plates to raise different platforms, and this light puzzle where mirrors are angled in a way, so you must move the snake around until you find the right solution. I won't spoil much of this game as it can be bought for cheap, and someone may want to experience the narrative themselves, meaning we conclude Platinum number 7. Day 9 was Bright Memory Infinite, a first-person shooter, a game that has good graphics and fun gameplay. However, it is quite short. The story follows an agent called Sheila who works with an organization to discover why such drastic weather conditions are affecting the area, only discover that there is a black hole and more issues lying ahead. The enemies range from your advanced military to mythical beings like this giant, who can also cast spells. There's also a range of weapons for you to use from, like the rifle, shotgun, sniper, sword, and even a mechanical arm that can produce gravity-based attacks. The game also features severing enemies' limbs with your weapons, and it is one of the first trophies you'll gain. This trophy list requires multiple playthroughs, as you'll get a few of the trophies from beating the bosses in the story, as well as several trophies tied to how many kills you get with each weapon. There are trophies for collectibles like relics, which are used to upgrade your abilities, which allow you to do some serious damage even in the harder difficulties. There was also this trophy that goes away from the guns blazing gameplay to stealth, where you have to kill 15 enemies without being spotted. The reason why you must do multiple playthroughs is that you must beat the game on Revenge difficulty to unlock the Hell difficulty to then beat it. However, you can use chapter select, meaning you only have to play the final chapter to gain those trophies. Even though it makes it easier in the long run, it still provides a challenge with the boss fights you must defeat. There are also the trophies I mentioned tied to your weapons, as one playthrough is not enough, so you either chapter select a mission with a lot of enemies, or play through the game entirely on its harder difficulties. I opted for the chapter select method and ended up with the platinum trophy on day number 9. The final day, and I only had 8 platinums, meaning I needed to complete 2 games. The first game I played was Undertale, a 2D role-playing game where you control a character who is falling into the underground where monsters live. Various characters and personalities to meet, as well as the consequences of your own choices. It is a unique game to play. Its trophy list is quite funny, because one of the early trophies I unlocked was "Don't worry, I have lots of ideas for trophies," and all I did was pick up an item. Several trophies are tied to picking up a set number of items, as well as reaching new areas within the game, like Snowden. However, you'll spend most of your time at the Dog Shrine, as this is where most of the trophies are. You must donate up to 350 gold, one by one to this shrine, and sometimes leaving the room as the shrine becomes too full. You'll eventually see this room add more decorations, and after reaching several donation numbers, we'd get many trophies in return. After donating all the money I had and successfully getting every Dog Shrine related trophy, I would progress through the game and meet new characters as well as new areas, granting me more trophies, like reaching the place where it rains and the Hotland, where I had to solve puzzles to progress even further. I would then reach the second save point in the core for the final trophy, and the platinum titled "Don't you have anything better to do?" And to that I say, I do not. Like before, I won't spoil much about the game as it is a narrative experience. It's also on PlayStation Plus Extra if you want to try it out yourself. After having a break, I decided to conclude 10 platinum trophies in 10 days with Goat Simulator. Your main goal within this game is to do as much damage as possible around the map, like destroying cars, ruining parties, and much more. This trophy list is wacky, having you do many random things, like destroying the goat henge, bouncing 100 times on mattresses within 30 seconds, and traveling to space. There's one trophy within this game that is extremely notorious compared to the rest, and that is to score 10 points in Flappy Goat, a seemingly simple tapping game to make your way through a set of pipes, but if you collide with them, it's game over. Now this trophy might be frustrating, but I found around the world in 5 jumps even more annoying. This requires you to visit every trampoline within 1 jump. Problem is, if you miss, you gotta set yourself up again, which is a tedious process. I don't know if there was a better way, but I had to climb up this crane to then land on top of this building, to use the air vents to propel myself into the air, and land on the trampoline. With the first one out of the way, I'd have to dodge the crane to get to the next 3 trampolines, but this one from the starting area of the game, I could never seem to get. It was either too far or too short. I'd say I spent more time on this trophy than Flappy Goat, purely because of the setup process. I also had this insane moment for a trophy. What did I just do by accident? I'm trying to get the trampoline trophy. There is also another level based around a city to get many trophies, like finding the Minecraft blocks, which is nostalgic as they have their old textures. Finding these 6 batteries to then attach to this roller coaster, and by using this roller coaster we unlock another trophy. Concluding the platinum is basic, with having to find the 30 collectibles throughout the map, and that was the 10th platinum trophy. And that concludes the 10 platinum trophies in 10 days challenge. Is it a good way to experience new games and genres? I'm not sure, as you may find yourself rushing through the games to complete it. Overall, I had fun with the games I played, and now let's count how many trophies I unlocked. 10 platinums, 59 gold, 106 silver, and 121 bronze trophies.